I am live. Right, okay. This is another attempt at me live streaming some inking for Stormchasers 8. If anybody's watching the live stream, hello. If you're watching on a replay, hello. Do consider subscribing if you're watching on a replay, please. It's very helpful. I'm up to, I think, just under 500. When I get to 500, I'm going to be giving away a book. I don't know if I've got it on my desk here. No, I don't. But I'm going to be giving away a Stormchasers trade paperback. No, not Stormchasers. A Interceptor trade paperback. His first appearance. So yeah, subscribe, and I'll be giving that away to a random subscriber at 500. Today I'm attempting to, like I say, do a third live stream. I did one on Thursday, and I think it was on the same page as this, actually, because I haven't done a lot since. Actually, it might have been Friday, not sure. Anyway, I got the video struck. It got content struck because there was a song on the radio in the background. It's just hideous. As if I'm going to make any money out of a song on the radio in the background. Anyway, instead, behind me, I have some BB Black Dog playing. And for anyone out there in YouTube land, at the YouTube offices, anybody trying to think about striking this video, I know the guys at the band. They said I can use their music, so that's what's on in the background. So leave me alone and let me draw. That's all the crap out of the way. So let's get on and carry on drawing. I'm just on this panel here where Haymaker's smacking this other guy in the face. I can't remember his name. I'm so crap at names. That was the panel that I did in the last stream, which is now lost forever. I did download the video, but I don't think I can be asked to put it back up again. And I've moved on. So what I was going to do was just do this panel here for the live stream. So I'll make a new layer for it just in case, and I'll get on and do it. This guy's a bit furry, so I'll use a slightly bigger nib and go for it. Trying to remember his name. Not very good at names. So I've spoken before about using a slightly bigger nib, just to create a slightly more dynamic style. I was getting a bit scratchy and getting I felt that I was getting lost in trying to put too much detail into things. Whether I was or whether I wasn't, I don't know, but I felt like I was losing myself in it. And the thicker nib, it's Grim Fang. That's his name. Grim Fang. Comes to you when you're drawing, doesn't it? And so I just thought, try that thicker nib, and it's quite liberating actually, because you start just doing things that a little bit freer, not worrying so much about the detail, knowing that you can't get that much in. Of course, lightening the pressure on the brush, on the stylus itself, means that you can get slightly lighter lines in, slightly thinner lines for that brush, which results in some detail. But it's certainly the way it's going at the moment, I'm feeling like it's just enough detail for the style that I'm trying to get. I'm looking for that thing. I'm looking for that something that's me and me only, and not anybody else, not trying to be someone else. You know, it's good to be inspired by other artists, and anybody who watches my channel, listens to me blather on other people's channels about John Buscema and other fantastic Bronze Age artists know where my inspirations come from. But you've got to grow beyond those inspirations and be you. Be what you want to be, how you want to draw. And it's really difficult to be that disciplined, because you see so many other wonderful artists out there doing different things to what you're doing. I mean, I look at somebody like Sean Gordon Murphy, and I feel like a rabbit in headlights, you know, a squirrel or whatever. It's like, oh look, shiny thing. Sean Gordon Murphy's style is so wonderful, and yet I know it's not the kind of thing that I should be doing. It's not me at all. So you have to stay away from things like that, or something that's probably a little easy to understand would be maybe, I don't know, wanting to draw in that sort of Bronze Age style, but having your head turned by people like Finch and Jim Lee, because their styles have got a lot of the core elements of the Bronze Age stuff, but they're beautiful in their detail and their style, very stylistic. And of course, that's what I'm really after. I'm after that style aspect. So it is easy to have your head turned, but you've got to stay true to what you are. And that will see you through as far as your own style, your own look is concerned. So I'm talking like I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just doing the best I can, and that's the way I feel is the right way of doing it. I may be completely wrong. Something else you'll have to put up with if you come to see me on these live streams is a stream of consciousness, which for all intents and purposes is me babbling. So I'll just talk nonsense while I'm drawing. Some of it will be nonsense. So obviously, hopefully what I've just talked about, the style is in some way wise. But yeah, I'll talk some nonsense sometimes. Something that I'm really keen on doing is, once I finish this book, getting onto my own book, my own creation, Only Death Can Save Us, and sharing the process with as many people who'd like to come and see it. So that's what this is. These me coming on and doing these live streams is in preparation for the book, and for me sharing the process of how that book comes to life. I bought a couple of books recently. I bought one, a Daredevil one, for tomorrow night's stream with Fly or Lucifer. And also I bought a Conan book, which was beautiful. Bit of Buscema in there. I bought an old Thor reprint, an Essentials line, number 6 or 7, I think. And that's mostly, has to be said, mostly Buscema in that. And it's just fantastic stuff. But I also bought, I think, is it called Perfect 10, which is by Dave Brink, I think his name is. And it's quite a comic-y style. It's not a classic style. But I really like the look of it. I mean, most things I buy for art, not for the story. And I get caught up in the story if the story's good. But most of the stuff, I'm very shallow. I'll be buying it for the artwork, for what it looks like, because I just love it. And that looks like a really good book. I bought that on Indiegogo. And don't let anybody scream at you, oh my god, that's a Comicsgate book. I don't give a shit if it is a Comicsgate book. it looked really nice to me, so I bought it. And that's the bottom line. You shouldn't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot read or enjoy art-wise, and you should go find out for yourself and make your own assessment as to whether those people are deplorable or not. I'm not going to make a comment generally about Comicsgate. All I'm going to say is I'll read what I want and I'll talk to who I want and I'll make my own. I'll come to my own conclusions over whether those people are good people or not. And so far, I've not made any terrible mistakes. So yeah, so kind of got a bit serious then. Just again, one of those streams of thought. But yeah, Dave Brink, I think his name is, and Perfect 10. I think it's Perfect 10. But I also bought a little while ago, actually, Shinobi Sasquatch, I think that's the name of it, which is a guy called Rob Willis. Oh my God, his artwork is gorgeous. It's actually got a bit Jim Lee Finchy style to it, actually. Again, I think some people would accuse him of being Comicsgate, but I don't know. All I know is that the artwork was gorgeous. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. It's got a real 90s feel to it. It's nuts. I think I heard somebody say perfect way to describe it was 3 words. It was like ninja, werewolf, Bigfoot, or something like that. It's like that's a must. Got to buy that book. So yeah, I'm hopefully that'll be coming along soon. But I also get Marvel Classics every month that Panini do. Excuse me. Coffee. I don't know why I need coffee in the middle of the day today. Absolutely wrecked. Yeah, Marvel Classics. So I'm getting those on a regular basis every month. Just the old stuff. I just love it. It's so much fun to look at, and the stories. Like I say, I don't get too involved in stories. I tend to go for the art first. But the stories are just so much fun. I love Bronze Age stories. Oh, I'm feeling so crap today. I went out for my first long walk in 2 weeks yesterday because I had a calf injury. I have to put these balls in my shoes to stop my arch from flattening off. I should have done something about it years and years ago, but I didn't. But I'm starting to do something about it now. And I'd been walking because of the lockdown, because of the beer virus. I'd been walking pretty much every day with my wife. We'd go out and exercise every day. I've not been able to go karate training for a while now. Although I have trained at home. I train every day at home. Every day apart from Saturdays. That's my day off from training. It's only a small amount of training. I mean, it's like I'm not a bloody ninja or something. I do a 20-minute workout every morning. And then on top of that, I try to go out and walk, and I run through my katas once a week so I don't forget them, because apparently anything you do, if you don't do it often enough, you'll forget it. I think it's something like 20 days, 23 days, something silly like that. If you don't do something for 23 days, you forget it. So the last thing I want to do is forget my kata. No, I don't like that. I'm going to bring that back a bit. That's better. So anyway, I'd been going out walking and what have you, but because of this silly injury that I have, it buggered my calf, so I couldn't walk I couldn't go out on a long walk for 3 weeks because the calf injury was a bit shit. But I seem to have fixed that with these. I've got myself some new sandals. Sandals, I'm so old. I'm going to have to get a pipe as well. I've got some sandals, and that's got this lump, and I bought these bands that put this lump under your foot, and I wear that in my trainers. So back to walking next week. I get some more walking in, as well as my daily training regime. I'm drinking far too much coffee there. Right, okay. So what I do is I tend to work at this 55% because the screen resolution is perfect at that point. I can see the brush. I can see how it works on screen on the actual artwork. Also, it's pretty much roughly the size of an A3 sheet that I would work on if this was a real piece of paper. So my art is the same pretty much line for line, whether I was doing it in the real world or whether I was doing it on screen. The only time I zoom in is on faces and hands occasionally, just so that I make sure they're right, because it's almost like in the real world you have this little zoom technique that you get in close and you do the face. But you can't do that on the computer, so I physically have to, or physically I say, I literally have to zoom in on it a little bit, and I zoom into about 65% so that I can see the pencil a little bit easier. I'll lower the nib size and then put in the features. I tend to turn off the smoothing for this as well, because the smoothing just gets in the way. The smoothing's great for long lines, when you want a nice finish, but for small details it just gets in the way, to be honest. Also, by having things like the faces done without the smoothing, turning the smoothing off occasionally for certain details, it changes up your line work just a little bit to add interest. It's almost subliminal. It's very difficult to see it, but it does do it. Yes. It's not working. So it can be a bit of a pain because it puts a little pause on what you're doing, but there's like an auto backup feature in Clip Paint Studio, and it sometimes it's just like you're in the middle of doing a line and it stops and does that little save feature. It doesn't save it over your file. All it does is provide you with a backup point. And as much as it can be a little bit intrusive on occasion, it's an absolute godsend. The difference between working digitally and working traditionally, there's many differences. There's that, the dog can't eat it. You can't spill your coffee on it and all that kind of stuff. And that's great. It's quicker, like you can sort out a correction much easier. But if the electricity goes down and you haven't saved, you've lost your file, which is a real bitch. So that backup feature I've found, because I've swapped from exclusively using Photoshop to pretty much using Clip Studio all the time now. I haven't investigated all the features, but really I would say yes. And also it's a lot cheaper to buy in the first place. My copy of Photoshop is an old copy of Photoshop. I don't have the current set because apparently you've got to do like a subscription thing with that, and I don't like that either. But yeah, Clip Studio is it's been a real eye opener for me. I wish I'd been using it earlier. Okay, looks all right. Let's have a quick look, see if anyone's here. Oh, hi Marv. Tomorrow with Fway will be awesome. Thank you. Comic Skate, I don't have an opinion and I don't want to. As long as people love comics, fine by me. No politics and crazy agendas. Yeah, exactly. I'll be walking with the dog. Oh, next week I had 2 strokes on my right leg and I need to. Yes, you said yes. What sort of dog do you have? Whoop. Baby black dog. Do you know what I like about BB Black Dog is all their tracks are different. They never sound the same. Every track is different. Always impressed by people who can play musical instruments. Sketchbook Pro is for free and great. Oh, Sketchbook Pro. This Lazy Nezumi is great. It's a fantastic tool. My only criticism of it would be that it's got too much going on now. That the tool has become a little bit overblown, and there's just so much on it. I wish they'd do like a smaller version of it, a limited version of it, because the perspective tool on it used to be really straightforward, and now I find, I mean, it's probably just me being thick, but I find it just all a bit over the top. It's just too many options. I've not done that very well, have I? Maybe I should. I see my OCD coming out there. Got to have a perfect circle. It works slightly differently in Photoshop than it does in Clip Studio. The weird thing is so for instance, things like the eraser that just isn't affected by, say, the smoothing tool in Photoshop. But everything is effective, even using the cursors to move yourself around the page in Clip Studio, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But like I say, I don't really use this tool or this plugin for much more than circles and a bit of pressure, so that I can get the smooth lines that I want. It'd be interesting actually when I go back to doing a bit more traditional stuff, because I'll be doing some of the pages for Only Death Can Save Us traditionally. Just how I get that smooth look, it's probably just going to take me forever. There's hair in now. Go back to a slightly thicker nib. Okay. Oh yeah, I'd love to see a picture of your dog. That'd be cool. My mum and dad rescued 2 dogs. They lived in Spain, and a couple of dogs were hanging out, and they ended up rescuing them. Unfortunately, my mum and dad died over the last 18 months. So mum died just late last year. My sister's looking after the house while we get it sorted out to sell it, and the dogs are living with her. But they're crazy dogs, lovely animals, bark a lot. Tablets, oh god, talk to me about tablets. I never quite get what I want out of a tablet, and that's the trouble. They never seem to. I suppose it depends what sort of tablet you're talking about. Are you talking about a tablet like an iPad, or are you talking like a tablet for like one of those drawing tablets that you can use on a PC? I presume actually you might be talking about that. I'm gonna fill that in a bit more, I think. Yeah. Actually, no, that's not hairy there, is it? So I'm going to smooth that off. Much better. One thing that is so much easier is using whiteout. Use whiteout on inks. I find it really very tricky sometimes, but using whiteout on here is dead simple. It's just changing the colour. It's coming out all right, actually. I quite like that. Thin that up a bit. Oh, I know what I'm doing. The only thing is trying to remember to switch things on and off. So, just turn that off while I draw it in. Sounds like there's children playing outside. Which I hadn't noticed that noise had stopped. It's nice to hear it again. I know they're probably breaking some lockdown rule, but I think we all need to take stock of that one, to be honest. It's obvious that there was something going on, but my sensation is that we all slightly overreacted, I think. I know it's easy for me to say if I haven't lost someone to it, but I think the numbers will speak for themselves eventually. People don't realise, without sounding too depressing, people don't realise just how close we all are to catastrophe every day. It's such an easy world by comparison to the way that our grandparents lived, or our great-grandparents, and further back, obviously. It's such a safe world by comparison. And I think people seem to think that someone should save them from everything. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, that's the whole point of having a rounded, compassionate society, that we can help each other out, and that things like tax and what have you are put in place to help everyone. But you know, the government can't stop you from getting a virus. Okay, you can lock yourself away, but then what's the point in that? Where's the life in that? And it's certainly in this country, it seems to be people going, "Oh my God, save us," and not realising they live with risk every day. I mean, you know, if there was some kind of natural disaster, I know, like a meteorite or something like that, and the supply chains were taken down, the Western world would turn into some kind of Mad Max apocalyptic mess within 10 days, literally. People don't realise how close they are to catastrophe all the time. Like I say, it doesn't put down the deaths. Like I say, my mum and dad died very recently, so I know what loss is about, but you know, you've got to live as well. We're all born to die. There's no doubt about it. I think often in Western culture we don't talk enough about death. I think so many people are scared of it. Obviously, it's a scary thing because you don't know what's on the other side of it. But then maybe that's part of it. Part of life is learning to live with uncertainty, learning to live with your fears, and facing them and saying, "Damn it, I'm going to live." God, that was a bit deep. When I'm drawing some superhero monkey creature that can breathe fire, beating up on an amazingly good-looking superhuman heroine. But there you go. You've got to keep yourself happy somehow, I suppose. Oh, damn. Rawr. What we got? Oh, mate, Jay, you're here. Hello, Jay. It's so nice to see you. Like I said to you, I hope you don't mind me showing a little bit of the production off before we go to print. But I just thought it was a way of obviously helping with my channel, but obviously also, even more importantly, getting a little bit of notoriety, maybe getting more people involved in seeing the work that I do for Unstoppable, which I absolutely adore doing. So thanks for dropping in, Jay. And yeah, what you're saying, I always wanted to draw like Boostman. So you'll never draw like them. Work hard and you'll find your way. Yeah, that's right. That is absolutely right. Yeah. Do your thing, like I was saying at the start. Do your thing. Be you. Have your inspirations. Have those people that you admire, but be you. Seeing that, actually, I just saw that on the thumbnail and I didn't like that at all. So I'm going to change that. Because that muscle isn't quite doing what it was supposed to do. Don't like that either. That's better. Okay. It's supposed to be in there. It's a tricep rather than the bicep. Biceps on the front part of your arm. Triceps are under here. That's why we do a lot of press ups in karate, because the tricep is there to punch with. You don't punch with your bicep, you punch with your tricep. Straighten the arm out, punch with the tricep. Oh, it's got a bit of zoom there. Straighten your arm out and punch with the tricep. Right, let's get in there and get Haymaker drawn. Love Haymaker. Love drawing her. This big muscular woman. It's fantastic. So the light, I've got this light coming from this side, so I have to be careful about the shadowing on that. You can't put too much on because it's a delicate size. Down. Nope. So if you are watching on the replay, you do get to buy one of these fabulous comics from Unstoppable. And I'm not just talking about it because it's my artwork. All their range, fabulous books from Unstoppable. If you do see any with my artwork in, you see any with this artwork in, if you do see any changes from what you're seeing in the live stream, it's because I've looked at it and gone, I don't like that, and I've changed it. Which does happen on occasion. It's just you should, as an artist, what you should be doing really is finished is best, getting it done, getting it out. Obviously doing your best work that you can at that moment in time, but moving on, not spending too much time on a piece or on a finished piece. Fortunately, I get a little bit more time with Unstoppable's work with Jay, and that gives me the opportunity to live with the pages for a little while before they go to colour. Mike colours them. Mike Summers, who's a great colourist. I've seen him really improve over time. I mean, not that I could tell him how to colour. He's a fantastic colourist, but his colouring has just moved on so much, and he colours so well, and I really love it when he colours over my work. So like I say, there's so many other books over at Unstoppable. I really like the Dragonstorm book. I think is it Craig? I can't remember his name. I'm so crap with names, especially when I'm trying to concentrate. Great artist on that book. Really, really enjoy it. So there's loads of books over there. Check them out. Like I say, if you see any of my books and the art's changed, it's because I've had that opportunity that I get with doing Unstoppable books. It just gives me a little chance to live with the art for a little while, and pick the odd thing out. I think, oh no, I've got that slightly wrong, or there's an eye in the wrong place. And I get the opportunity to just fix that, and then Mike jumps in. Shepherd, is it Shepherd? Craig Shepherd, who does Dragonstorm, and I get to jump in and change it for the better, hopefully. I'll turn that down a little bit. No, I don't like that. That's it. You can see, like with digital art as against the traditional line work, you do get that opportunity to draw a couple of lines, and that's why I look at the Bronze Age artists, especially the Incas, actually, and just, I mean, guys like Joe Sinnott. Oh my God, fantastic work he did. I've got this line smoothing on this, but wow, the brushwork he did was just stunning. And all traditional, and I get a second bite at the cherry. If I don't like something, I can just Control-Z it or whatever and get rid of it. He couldn't do that. He had to get it right first time, or at the very least have some serious skills with whiteout. And it does make life easier. So but it does mean that you can do a little bit more, as in physically getting more work done. So it's a trade-off, that you don't have the physical sheets that sitting in your studio that you would have had if you'd have been doing them traditionally, but you get to draw that much more work. Your output rate goes up. She's socking it to Grimfang. I'm so crap with names. I couldn't remember his name earlier, and it's if you'd have asked me his name while I was in the middle of penciling the book, I'd have known everything. But once you get to inking, especially if there's been a delay in between pencil and inking, like there was with this, there was a bit of a delay between one and the other. I start forgetting the names of characters and what I'm doing, because I just deal with so many different characters in different books and different genres. and of course, you've done. If you've done your job properly, then you're expressing the script correctly in your pencils, and you shouldn't have to worry about going back and double checking it too much. I have done some double checking. I've had the script open a few times on a few pages to check that I'm getting the right expression for whatever the character's saying at that moment in time. But you know, when they're having a fight, there's only so many expressions you're going to put in. Okay, so not too much lighting on her costume there. Okay, I'm probably going to leave out of that, I think, and just go in with the strike lines now. Let's see if anything else been going on. Shepherd. Okay, I got it right. Never mind you sharing. I've been posting videos and websites well, hoping those people bounce back to you. Hey, no, like we're all in it together, mate. We're all in together. What you'll do to protect your comic book for being used by others. Not quite sure what you mean there, Marv. Not quite sure what you mean there. I think to a degree, it comes down to how much you're prepared to show. Personally, my book, when I come to, I know that Jay does do digital downloads, and there's a whole business decision around that, and marketing and all the rest of it. My personal book, I won't go for a digital download, and that does help in protecting your work, because obviously there's a lot of pirating goes on. And the trouble is people kind of excuse pirating, especially if it's somebody like Marvel or DC. It's like, oh, they're such a big company, but it's so easy for that to end up being a small guy like me or like Jay, and they're pirating the work, and that's not good. But to be brutally honest, there wasn't any digital download for Doctor Who while I was doing it, and every month Doctor Who would come out, Doctor Who Adventures, and somebody would be scanning it in and putting it on a download site, and you think, have you not got anything better to do if you're not making any money out of this? It's like I'm not always the BBC's biggest fan, but you know, you shouldn't be doing that. Right, I'm going to put in another. Here we go. I like this. This is some of my favourite effects of the Bronze Age, is putting these. I love filling up panels with energy. These radial strike lines, absolutely love them. You shouldn't overuse them, because you do need to put backgrounds into panels. You do need to give the reader the ability to think that they're in that the characters are in a particular environment, that they're, you know, that they exist within a world rather than just floating around in a panel, or, you know, like inside the strike lines. But that's where you should be clever about how much you use any particular technique, and make your panels exciting and descriptive. But you certainly don't need to show, in my personal view, this isn't a tutorial, this is just my opinion, you don't need to show everything. You don't always need to show a background. Right, okay, I think that works. Turn it off. I think, Marv, you were asking about bands. I presume you're asking me and not Jay. Favorite bands? I would like so many different types of music. Like I say, I'm always so damn impressed by anyone who can play a musical instrument, you know. Oops, I want to do that. Boom, 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 boom. Right, okay. Quite happy with that panel. Actually, it's quite simple inking. There's not a huge amount of shading going on there, especially on Haymaker. But this, I don't think I needed it on that. I suppose I could black that leg in, but I don't know if I'm going to benefit. If the figure's going to benefit from that black. So I've got an example here. So I'm blacking the leg in there. Nah, I think I'll leave it like that. Let the colour do the job on that. So I've actually got some background to put in there. Her slamming against the wall. I've got to finish off her punching Grimfang in the face there, and that page will be complete. So I've done, oh good lord, I've done nearly an hour. I think I'm probably at an end. Right. Oh right. Like copyright and that kind of thing. I think it's. I don't know for sure, but I think it's fairly straightforward. As you know, if you can prove that you created a character at a certain point in time, I don't think you necessarily need to go out and copyright it. So, for instance, I can prove when I produced the work that I've done on Only Death Can Save Us, there's video footage, there's all kinds of stuff. So it becomes sort of in the public sphere that you were working on something and that you developed it. I don't know for sure. I think it's unlikely that anybody large is going to come after my work. And then on top of that, it comes down to story as well. So I think it would be fairly straightforward if somebody else decides they're going to do the same story as you. Then I suppose it comes down to who's doing the story better. I don't know. I think if somebody large, like a film company, comes and steals an idea from a comic book, I think that would probably be quite easy to fight that in court without even getting involved in official copyrights and stuff. Quite pleased with that. It's something not quite right there. Am I being too picky? I don't know. If I do that, it will help to pick out her hand. So I'll drop that on top. Yeah, that's a bit better. That works better. Black that in there. That's better. I might play with that a little bit later. Okay, I think that's done it, actually. Save that there. Okay, so that's that done. Thanks very much for joining me today, Marv. I'll be back with another stream. I think either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll be back with another stream and do a little bit more Stormchasers. Like I say, I don't want to show too much of it, obviously, but I think it's interesting for other people to see how the production comes together. Thank you so much, JD, for joining and watching me work on your marvelous books. It's always a pleasure to be to have JD around. He's a very energetic person. You're a very energetic person, Jay, and I've absolutely loved working on Unstoppable books. I hope to work on more. And any of you out there watching, if you're watching on replay, go find out about Unstoppable Comics, unstoppablecomics.com, and look at their work and look at their comics, because they do have some absolutely brilliant comics. Michael J. McCurdy, thank you very much for saying that about my work. Yeah, they do some really outstanding comics. So do go and check them out. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. It really means a huge amount that people subscribe to my channel and listen to me, you know, a knucklehead, and listen to me babble on about art and Bronze Age art and comic books and stuff like that. And occasionally a stream of consciousness will come out that doesn't seem very conscious. But yes, thank you for subscribing. Thanks for turning up today. Thanks for watching the replay if you're watching, and do give me a like or subscribe. You can find me at russleach.com, at comicbookblackbelt.com, onlydeathcansavus.com. That will be my book that's coming out hopefully this year. I will be starting the production on it. I've already started the production on it, but I'll be starting doing live streams on the production of that in about 10 days time, after I've finished Stormchasers up. And you can pick up the email subscription list at any of those addresses, and you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, so join me over there. Always happy to chat. If anybody wants to drop a comment, I'd love to hear from you. So you guys, thanks so much for joining me, and for those watching the replay, thanks very much for watching. I've really enjoyed doing this. Thanks for joining me in the dojo today, and I'll be back with another video again real soon. Bye bye.